What's up guys? I'm your friend Jing. Today I'm going to teach you how to private label your product in China. I made 2 videos for this topic to introduce 8 private label solutions that you can apply to your product. And this is the part 1 video. Let's check it out. If you are importing product from China, there are a lot of advantages that you can private label your product. For example, you are selling the outdoor products, you're selling tents, travel mug, sleeping bag, and if you can get the very good quality from China and put your logo for every single your product, let the customer remember all product under your brand is very high quality, then this will be the best way to run a long-term business. So if you are selling product with your own private label, you can always get higher margin. For example, here I have 2 bottled waters, and this one doesn't have any label and this one has a label. And I'm 100% sure that for most people, they will buy this one instead of this, because no one will know if this water is healthy or not, but with a nice label and a nice design of the bottle, and you can feel this water is more reliable and more higher quality, and people are willing to pay more money for this one. The first solution is printing. If you don't know any specific private label solution, or you don't have enough time, enough budget to apply other private label solution, then choosing printing is always a good choice for adding your logo to the product. And in China, there are 2 kinds of printing solutions. The first is silk screen and the second is heat transfer. But you don't really need to know the technical difference between these 2 methods. What you need to know is to remember my conclusions. Okay, so I have 2 great examples here. This is the t-shirt for our company, and the logo is made by silk screen. And this t-shirt this sample is from our t-shirt supplier, and this one is used for president election in the country called Papua New Guinea. And you can see the profile is printed by heat transfer. The biggest difference between silk screen and heat transfer is silk screen is more suitable for logos with simpler design or less color use, but heat transfer will be more suitable for design with multiple color use or gradient colors. And when you touch the heat transfer image, you can feel the quality is more higher than the silk screen, but of course the price for heat transfer is higher than silk screen. So what will be the cost to make these 2 printing logo in China? Well, for silk screen printing, suppliers will usually charge you around $20 for the printing mode for each color. And here you can see is 2 colors, the yellow and black. So supplier will charge you $40 for printing mode, and this fee will be charged when you are making the sample. But just for the printing job, it's very cheap. It will be just cost you maybe 6 or 7 US cent to make this one. But for heat transfer, usually supplier will charge you around $100 for printing mode, and no matter how many colors are used. But the price is still really based on the quantity you buy. For example, if you just order 100 pieces of this t-shirt, and suppliers, of course, they will not charge you $6 for printing 100 t-shirt, because there will be a minimum charge by their printing factory. For most product factory, they just produce a product or assemble parts to make a product, but usually they will not print logo by themselves. Usually they outsource this part of work to some printing workshop. So for printing workshop, they will charge the product supplier some minimum charge for printing each batch product, and the money I think is around like $20 to $30. So that means if you only buy 100 t-shirts of this, it's very normal that a supplier will charge you $20 or $30 for minimum. Sometimes Chinese supplier will offer you a minimum order quantity to add your logo on the product. Let's say 500 for this product. And if you only need like 100 or 200 products, the supplier have to offer you the product without any logo. And in this case, you can tell your supplier that I know your printing supplier has a minimum charge for printing this batch, but I'm willing to pay the extra cost just for the printing. Then you paid $30 for printing this 100 pieces product, which means average is 30 cents for each product, which is still a very good deal because you don't need to buy that 500 quantity. Although printing is simple and low cost, but there's still a lot of way to make your product looks even more great. And if your product is made from materials like metal, glass, or organic material like leather and wood, you can think more about using laser engraving instead of printing, because laser engraving can make your product looks more high-end, more high quality, and the logo made by laser engraving will look more nature than printing. And here I have some very good example. This jar is made from metal, and you can see the logo is made by laser engraving, and you can imagine what the printing logo will looks like. And of course, this laser engraving logo will looks way much better than silk screen. And here's another very good example. This travel mug is we sourced for our American customer, and this is the first batch product, and which is made from, the logo is made from silk screen. And this is a second batch, the logo is made from laser engraving, and you can see the difference. The laser engraving looks way much quality than the silk screen, and the laser engraving also has another advantage, is that the silk screen logo has a potential to be scratched off, but the logo of laser engraving will remain very perfectly all the time. And no matter you bring outside, and no matter you put on the sand or scratched by the rock, the logo will be always very good there. So what will be the cost for laser engraving in China? The cost is very low, and there's almost no mold fee charge, no mold fee like the printing logo. And usually laser engraving workshop will charge around 10 cents for each product, and it's still based on the size of a logo, and also the quantity of the product that you want to make the logo. And here's a very useful tip, is that usually laser engraving workshop, they will offer $20 or $30 minimum charge for printing each batch product, quite similar to the printing factories. But sometimes not every Chinese supplier can offer the laser engraving service, because some of them, they don't have laser engraving workshops that working together for a long time, or they don't have any in this kind of workshop around their factory area. So in this case, you can also send us email and tell us where your product is. And if your product supplier is not far away from us, and we can help you contact your supplier to send the product to the laser engraving workshop that we have worked before. Solution 3, molding logo. If your product is made from materials like metal, glass, plastic, rubber, silicone, you can think about using molding logo instead of a silk screen or even laser engraving. Because molding logo can make the product's logo looks more nature and more high-end than the laser engraving. And here I have some great examples. You can see this Rode microphone that we are using for filming our videos, and you can see the logo here is it's concave, and it's a molding logo because the logo is already made in the mold, and because this handle is made from plastic. Plastic products is made by plastic injection machine, and the process is the plastic injection machine melts the raw material, the plastic granule first, and injects the melted plastic into the mold. And because the logo is already in the mold, so when the plastic become cool and shaped, and the logo is already made when the product was finished. And here I have another great example, and this is a perfume bottle that we made for a famous Italian resort, and they are developing their own cosmetic product line, which is very high-end. I think even more high-end than the Chanel. And you can see the lid of the bottle is made from the zinc alloy, and you can see the logo is concave, and this concave is way much deeper than the laser engraving can do. And you can also see the logo on the bottle is also already made in the mold. And this is what a high-end product should look like. So just imagine if you are buying a similar bottle at a street corner, and even though they are using a similar lid and a similar bottle, similar color for this bottle, and just make the logo by printing. But the printing logo will just make the whole product looks so cheap. But for molding logo, there are two disadvantages. The first is the cost. If you want to add your logo in the mold, that means you need to ask a supplier to create a new mold for you, or they need to change their previous mold. And for plastic products, making a new mold, it will usually cost at least $1,000 at least 1,000. Sometimes I think the normal price will be around $1,500 or $2,000. And for the mold for metal products or glass products, the mold fee is around $500. And the second disadvantage for molding logo is the time for creating the mold. Usually for plastic or metal products, the mold need around 15 to 20 days, because even though the mold is made, the mold supplier still need to change the mold for a couple of times to make sure the product can come out perfectly without any defects. So for most of the case, supplier will tell you that it will take at least half a month to change the logo or to make your logo in the mold. So you really need to think more about if this investment in the logo is worthy or not. Because if you are using other private label solutions, having a sample which is exactly the same as a mass producing with your own private label is just like $50 or $100. That's enough. Here I have a good example. This backpack is we made for our partner in America, and they're AmazonSecrets.net, and they teach people how to sell on Amazon, and my team helped hundreds of their students get product from China and sent to Amazon. So for this kind of embroidery logo, usually it will cost around 20 cents in China. But here's also an MOQ thing happened when I'm ordering this product from the supplier. The supplier offered 500 MOQ for customizing the logo for free at the beginning, but after few negotiation, and finally they charged me around $80 for embroidering 100 disc bags. But it's still very good to just pay the $80 to have the embroidery logo instead of buying the 500. This kind of MOQ things for customizing logo always happen when you are buying product from China. I think the reason is for small orders, suppliers, they don't want to put that much effort to customizing your logo because usually they need to outsource this adding logo service to other workshops, and they prefer to persuade you to give up the idea for adding your own logo and telling you, okay, that's just the quantity you are buying is too small. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys learn new ideas to private label your current products. If you guys have any question, leave your comment below and I will reply as much as I can. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel because our next video, Private Label Solution Part 2, is coming very soon. So see you guys in next video.